Okay, so these are the whiteline KLC 139. These I know are for 05 to 07, 100% sure fitment. STI, WRX, because they're adjustable, so they're like almost a universal type setup. So you want to get universal endlinks when you have a multi-adjustable sway bar, because when you go to great, I heard a washer fall. Yep, missing one. Okay, so as you can see right here, I can adjust it, the height, per se. So when you move on the end of the blade, when you move, like you'll be able to hit the center spot with like the cart boys or the parents, but when you move to the soft or the harder spot, or vice versa, however it is anyways, your end link will actually tilt one way or the other to match the hole, and then that will throw off the geometry of the sway bar. So you want to make sure, if you got an adjustable sway bar, you need adjustable end links. Simple enough. So unless you just plan on running the center one and not trying to fine tune your sway bar, because you want to try and keep your end links, you want them, it doesn't matter if they're like this or like that, you want the end link to be perpendicular with the ground. So you don't want it this way or this way, it needs to be this way. So basically level. It doesn't matter if it's like tilted this way or back this way, as long as it's not like this or like that. And it sucks because the picture they show for these make them look super fancy and all chromed and blinged out, like they're made from that aluminum material, but they're not. These are a hardened steel that looks like somebody might have rattle canned them with black. But I've tried to look these numbers up to see if they cross-reference with another manufacturer, so you don't have to pay the $150 for them like I did from Whiteline. But nope, they don't cross-reference with anybody that I can find so far. If I do find somebody's company that they cross-reference with, that you can pick them up for like 40 bucks, because I'm pretty sure these are just rebranded. I mean, there's literally not a lot that makes them special. They almost look like the OEM ones on the end. So, anyways, got the end links now. Got the mounts and the rear bar. So it's a little more expensive to piece every stupid part out this way, but this is the way I could afford it throughout my paychecks and still make the bills and keep food in the fridge for the family. So this is how I did it. Now when I go to buy those for the front, I will have basically paid for the nice fancy kit where you get everything, including a front sway bar, for the same price. So if you guys can somehow rat hole money aside and just buy all of it at once, you always get a deal when you bundle stuff, right? So I don't plan on doing anything other than those for the front to kind of beefing it up, right? Because I'm gonna do the strut tower shocks are next, and I've got a transmission mount from IAG coming, cartboy short shifter, along with the bushings and everything for the short shifter. And then we'll end up doing the chassis bracing underneath the car. Work our way from the front to the rear. Since the rear has the sway bar, it's going to kind of hold that ass end together. So I'm going to start up here after the suspension and just kind of do and work my way back, because we've got repair and lockdown kit and bushings and then a sway bar. So that ass end isn't 100% locked down. There's a lot more I can do, like a rear strut bar and everything else, but I don't want to just focus on the rear and make it super solid and rigid as hell and then the front be all super twisty, because the way this car is designed, it's almost like this is a piece and it bolts right here to the firewall, and then this is another piece, and then you got the trunk portion. So we need to be able to make this rigid by doing the strut or sway bars, probably both, and then we need a brace that connects this front under subframe to the unibody better underneath, so that way this twists with this, and then once we get those two twisted together, we'll want this to twist with that, so that way the whole car, when it twists as one object and not like, dang it, I need something here to hold it. Whoa. But we don't want it to twist like this, right? So that's the idea. I mean, like I've said before in the past, I'm happy with the amount of power I have. 300 wheel horsepower is awesome. It's going to be reliable and last forever. So next is to make it turn fast, and also we're going to get radiator shroud and replace the alternator cover too. Maybe do some titanium nuts and bolts sprinkled throughout it, or I don't know, something. But so I found out this, at 12 inches or longer will cause the reaction time of this to hesitate and be a little bit on the slow side. And I figured, well, it's a daily driver, there's not a big difference, but I decided to do an experiment, and I put a Y splice in here and ran that straight to there, which made it roughly about 16 inches instead of 10 feet. So I'm going to figure out a way where I can up that vacuum line, because I don't want to do the brake line, because that would be insane. Like, don't want to mess with my brake vacuum. So up this line somehow off the manifold and tee into that new bigger line, so this way this still maintains the same amount of vacuum and this will maintain the same amount of vacuum, and then it won't be so laggy because it's only going 10-12 inches. So little stuff, and as I do it, I'll walk you through the stuff that I don't see videos on or anything else like that. So there's a million people putting sway bars on and endlinks in. I haven't seen anybody put these on, but they're pretty self-explanatory. I made a video about these. They don't have the hairs inside of the bushings like the new ones do, the lubeless bushing. So I'll swap those out with I think they're yellow that come with that. So maybe I'll put those on, do a video about that. But I'll definitely do a review video once this is all in the car, and I'll take it out and do some twisties and stuff and see if it makes that much of a difference on an STI or not. Because the original rear sway bar is a 19, and I only went up to a 22, so it's only 3 more millimeters bigger. But I read on all the forums and everybody else talking, and they're like, that's plenty big enough for the rear, and a lot of people don't go more than a 22 in the front. If they do, they go to a 24 and make it a soft 22. So anyways, this is all going to be happening tomorrow on Saturday. And then we'll get it, have some fun.